Do you have pain in the sole of your foot? Have you been diagnosed with plantar fasciitis and you don't know how to relieve your pain anymore? Whether you've been diagnosed with plantar fasciitis or you have pain in the sole of your foot, this video will provide you with the massage techniques you need to relieve the pain. I'm Marcos Sacristan, your favorite physical therapist, and this is Physical Therapy at your fingertips. Access more than 500 videos through my app. Download it from the upper right corner of the screen. The first step to perform the massage is to find a comfortable surface, for example, your sofa. Next, cross the leg with the foot you want to massage over the other leg, making sure the ankle stays on the outside. At no time should we rest the foot and ankle on the opposite thigh. From there, we start with a very simple movement. Take your right hand and place it around the sole of your foot. Your left hand should be around the toes. And from here, as you can see, we're going to apply circumduction movements upward, downward, to one side and to the other to work on the mobility of that metatarsal. Imagine that at the tip of your big toe, you have a pencil and you have to draw the biggest circle possible. It's important to note that this technique is completely passive, which means you won't have to make any effort with your toes. Instead, it's your left hand that's going to move all the joints. The right hand will hold the rest of the foot in place to prevent movement from spreading through the ankle. Very well, I like to do 10 circles outward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and also 10 circles inward and 10. One, drawing a very big circle with that big toe, as if we wanted to draw the biggest circle possible, like we had a pencil at its tip. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Next, we can also do flexion and extension movements of the metatarsals. Flexion and extension of the toes, bringing the front of the foot as far down as possible and then as far up as possible. Down and up. Down and up. Down and up, really mobilizing all those toe bones. Very good. Once we have completed 10 flexion extension movements, it's time to work on the mobility between the metatarsals, which are long bones that run from the middle part of the foot to the toes. To do this, take your index finger and your thumb, place them at the level of the smallest toe, and then place your other hand a little more toward the inside. From there, you will feel two little bumps under your index finger on the top part of your foot, which correspond to the metatarsals. What you need to do are shearing movements, back and forth between them. Work for 10 to 20 seconds at one spot and then move. Right hand, next bump, left hand, next bump. Now we're at the second and third metatarsals. And from there, same thing, shearing movements back and forth. To work on all that metatarsal mobility and relax the muscles that are between these bones, you don't need to spend too much time at the same spot. Once you've done between 10 and 15 seconds, move on to the next level. That is, the right hand is placed on the third toe and the left hand on the fourth toe. And again, as you can see on the screen, a shearing movement between one metatarsal and another. While one finger pushes down, the other pushes up, and so on, to move the metatarsals against each other. Very good. Let's finish with the last one. Rest your right hand on the second metatarsal. Again, you'll notice a small bump on the dorsal side and grab the whole big toe. Here we can work comfortably since there is a lot of muscle between the first and second toe that we need to relax. We can work for 10, 15, 20 seconds. Very good. Next, fingers in a claw shape. Here you can put a little bit of oil to improve the glide of your fingers on the skin. What we have to do is place the fingers in a claw right where the toes begin in this exact spot. And from there, make a claw-like movement downward to work on that entire pad of the foot. With your fingers in a claw shape, place them right at the base of the toes, and from here pull downward to relax the muscles and the metatarsal pad. The other hand can be placed at the ankle to keep the foot from moving so you can do the technique correctly. Fingers at the base of the toes and we pull downward. Ideally, apply a small amount of cream to help the skin slide better, and so it doesn't catch too much on our fingers. Fingers at the base of the toes, we pull down until we complete between 5 and 10 strokes. Very good. Once you've finished this technique to relax the pad, we're going to use our thumbs to work the entire metatarsal pad again. A movement, a very interesting technique for all of you who spend a lot of time standing or in high heels, and it simply consists of making circular movements. With your thumbs back and forth, left to right, going over the entire pad area. From the smallest to the largest, you can work the area for 10 to 15 seconds. And next, I recommend moving a little lower, just below that metatarsal pad, to continue working with those movements of your thumbs inward and outward. Again, here you can use a little bit of cream so your fingers slide better and achieve a better result. Once you've worked the pad area for 10 to 15 seconds, move a little lower. And again, outward, inward, and outward movements with your thumbs to keep relaxing all that fascia, working the whole foot. 10 to 15 seconds, and we move a little lower. Next level. Again, very gentle movements with your thumbs inward and outward. Work this area for another 10 seconds and we move down to the last level, very close to the heel, right here at the insertion of the plantar fascia to work that area again with your thumbs. Very, very pleasant, honestly, for the massage and to relax all the muscles. In this area, we can also use a claw grip that we used in the technique for the base of the toes. This way, place your hand just behind the heel and place your fingers just in front of the heel. From here we make outward and inward movements, holding the foot with the other hand to relax the entire plantar fascia, as if we were drawing a circle around the heel, more like a semicircle actually, since it would only be this front part. We can make an outward semicircle, or an inward semicircle. Work this area for about 20 to 30 seconds, then move on to gliding pressure strokes from the heel. How do we do them? By placing the thumb and the fist together, resting the thumb right on that front part of the heel we just saw. And from here, apply pressure toward the ball of the foot all the way to the base of the toes. Very, very pleasant. I like to do 5. 1 for each toe. Draw an imaginary line between the toe and the heel and follow it with your thumb. You can do each toe once, twice, or honestly as many times as you want. I'll show you all the techniques. It's up to you to choose the ones that feel best for you to use. These are quite pleasant. Working a little more here on the big toe. Very good. And after having done all those longitudinal techniques, we move on to a transverse technique. Again, placing the fingers in a claw shape, what we're going to do is rest those fingers on the outer part of the foot, very close to the heel, and move them inward. Working transversely across all that plantar fascia. I like to use my other hand because it lets me apply deeper pressure with this technique, which is not as pleasant as the previous ones, but can also achieve great results. We bring the claw and pull inward. Continue like this until you cover the entire area of the fascia from the heel to the ball of the foot. Let's do a couple more. Very pleasant. If you notice an area with more pain, for example, this area is more sensitive for me and we can work it more with that claw grip, applying deeper pressure. Very good. The last two techniques. The next one is one of my favorites. You have to place your closed fist, put your knuckles right in front of the heel as we saw before, and from here apply pressure upwards toward the ball of the foot. This technique is very similar to the one we saw with the thumb, however, I consider it a bit more aggressive, only suitable for those who like pain and intensity. So, rest your knuckles near the heel and push forward with your arm until you reach the ball of the foot. If you want to add extra tension to this technique, pull the toes upward to put that whole fascia under tension. And then rest your knuckles and work up to the ball of the foot. You can do 5 to 10 strokes again to relax all those muscles. Thank you. Very well, I told you there was still one last technique left, another one of my favorites, which I personally call the opening of the plantar fascia, which consists of the following. We are going to place both hands in a claw shape as we saw in previous techniques, placing those fingers on the middle of the fascia, and from here we are going to pull with both fingers outward to open this plantar fascia as much as possible. So, place your fingers in the middle area, press them in deep as you can, and then separate them, stretching that plantar fascia as much as possible. Sometimes from there you can't see it, but what I'm also doing is lifting the toes upward with my left hand so that deep stretch has a greater effect. I'll show you from the side. I press my fingers in really deep, start to pull, and as you can see I keep the toes dorsiflexed throughout the whole technique. Let's do a couple more. I insert my fingers, press them firmly, spread them apart, dorsiflex the toes, as you can see here, last technique. I press firmly, go in deep, separate that fascia to create a pleasant relaxation. You can do the massage as many times as you want during the day, as long as your fingers don't cause you any discomfort. Massages can be useful in cases of acute pain. However, we must not forget exercise as the main therapeutic tool to prevent pain. If you have plantar fasciitis, these exercises will be very helpful and will help you strengthen the fascia to improve your symptoms. If you don't have fasciitis, this other video where all the muscles of the foot and calf are strengthened will be very useful to help prevent discomfort. If you've made it this far, it's because you're enjoying the video, finding it useful, or maybe you're in love with this bald guy. Subscribe so you can see him more often, and share the video with those who need it. If what you're looking for is a longer exercise program focused on different conditions, I encourage you to visit my website physiotherapia2alcance.com. I sincerely thank you for staying until the end of the video, and I hope to see you again very soon in one of my other videos.